Welcome to The Holistic Entrepreneur with holistic nurse practitioner, success coach, and best-selling author, Bonnie Groessl. Bonnie and her expert guests share tips, tools, and strategies to achieve success on your holistic entrepreneur journey. Each show features answers to common entrepreneur challenges, along with a healthy dose of support and motivation. Now, please welcome the host of The Holistic Entrepreneur, Bonnie Groessl.
Well, welcome everyone. This is your host, Bonnie Groessl, here at The Holistic Entrepreneur. Now, today we're going to do another Biz Bites with Bonnie episode, and we're going to do part 2, or the second episode of the series about content marketing. And so we're going to talk about your website today. And I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But first, I always want to take a moment to thank you for taking your time to share it with me here on the show. I am so honored that you do that. Now, I know that our time is our most precious asset, so I always want to make sure that these shows are value-packed so that you feel your time was well spent. And sometimes I might talk a little fast because I'm trying to fit all this stuff in a show, but I really want these to be 15 minutes or less. You know, I think being a holistic entrepreneur is really more about who you are than what you do. You know, you come from that heart-centered place. You want to make a difference in the world. And perhaps that's you, and that's why you've decided to join us on the show today. So if this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you've tuned in before, welcome back. I hope that you find this will be another great show with insights to help you on your entrepreneur journey. Now, make sure you check out the show page before you leave. There's always a gift for you there. Actually, many gifts for you on the gift page. And then also links to connect with me. So you can connect on Facebook or through the website. And I also put my scheduling link there as well. So if you want to chat on Zoom, we can do that as well. Now, maybe you have a message to share. Maybe there's something that you want to get out into the world. I always love having new guests on the show, so reach out to me if you're interested in that. Now, the information, of course, presented here is educational, inspirational, and motivational, but I want you to always just take what fits for you and simply let go of the rest. This show does not intend or imply to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. I always want to preface every show with that little caveat because sometimes we talk about that stuff and I want you to always take care of you. Now, let's get into our topic for today. I'm so excited to talk about this. As I said, this is the second episode in the content marketing series. Now, last time we talked about blogging. And if you missed that, go back and listen to the week before. And the week before that, I think we talked about relationship building. So those are both good episodes that kind of lead into this content marketing series in general. Now, today we're going to talk about your website. I mean, this is your office or your business that's open 24/7. It's always there and people can access it anytime. And research shows that one of the best ways to attract and retain patients and or your clients in today's highly competitive digitized world, right, is with an effective website. And effective is the operative word here. So we're going to talk about that on the show today. And anybody can have a website. I mean, there are millions and millions and millions of websites. But, you know, you want to stand out. And so we're going to talk about some of the really important key things to help you both stand out, get found by search engines, and engage with your clients and or patients. So how would you rate your site through the eyes of a visitor? I mean, do you look at your site often? Or did somebody create it for you, a while ago and you haven't touched it or maybe even looked at it since? I see this all the time with people I talk to. But your website is the heart of all of your marketing efforts. It really is. When potential patients or clients come upon your website, what do they see? Your website is sometimes the first and only chance you have to begin developing a relationship with your potential patients or clients. And this is even more important if you pay for advertising because that sends people to your website, right? And then when people click on your site, you want them to have a good experience so that they begin that critical know, like, and trust factor with you. So if you're investing in ads for people to come to your website, you need a return on that investment. So your website should be dynamic. That means always changing, new information. And that's why we started talking about blogging last week, or a podcast, or something that creates that dynamic nature. You know, it shows that somebody's home. I mean, your visitors are going to notice that, and so will the search engines. You'll rank better with a dynamic site. Adding SEO or search engine optimization will help you get found But then you still need to do some other things to have engaging content to get them to stay. So let's talk about getting found first. Now, there's all kinds of SEO strategies, and it's really more complex than what we're going to talk about today. But these are 3 things that I think are really important, and so this is a great place to get started. One is using keywords. What keywords are is words and phrases in your web content that make it possible for people to find you via search engines. So a website that makes good use of keywords and is optimized for that, those are the words that people are going to use when they're doing a search, and the search engines will help them to find you, to come to your website. So keywords are really important. And as long as we're talking about keywords, if you can make sure that there's keywords in the permalinks, which is like the URL of each page, the address of each page, it has a more propensity to be found as well. So you got keywords in different places in your website, but the permalinks is really an important one. And then meta descriptions is another thing. And what a meta description is a little snippet of information, about 155 characters or so, that summarizes the page's content. Search engines show meta descriptions in the searches, and that's kind of how you get found. And alt tags is another thing. And alt tags are used for images. And the reason to do this is because, search engines can't see pictures. They can't see images, but they can read text. So if you have text that says what the image is, that's an alt tag, then search engines can read it and will know what the image is. It's also helpful for people who are vision impaired, but they have a device that reads the words to them. It allows them to see your image by describing it. So keywords, meta descriptions, and alt tags are 3 really important things in terms of SEO. And that's something that's pretty easy for you to do on your website, or have your webmaster do that for you. Now, let's talk about content and the structure of your site. This is what keeps your visitor on the website. It fosters engagement, it brings you new patients and clients, and also keeps you connected with your current patients and clients. Now, a good exercise to do is to pretend that you're the visitor. Go to your website and see it with new eyes from their perspective. What do you see when you first click on the site? Is it inviting, interesting, engaging? Can they easily find what they're looking for? Meaning, is it easy to navigate? Click around your site. Is it easy to find the things that you're looking for? Now, you can have the prettiest website in the world, but if people can't easily navigate it and find what they're looking for quickly, you've lost them. And then the other thing is, do all the links go where they're supposed to go? Sometimes you get broken links and they don't really work. And if you have links to external sites, like outside of your website, make sure that they open in a new tab or a new window, because the visitor will leave your site when they click on that link if it's not in a separate window, because then they just go from one window to the other and they're off your site. So the other thing is to look for is it easy for people to connect with you? To make an appointment or ask a question or somehow connect. Is it on every page, or do you just have a contact form on one page and it's nowhere else? Then people have to go to that page or find that page to be able to connect with you. So having something, even a phone number, an email, or something on every page is a good idea. Now, the average visitor will choose to stay on your website or bounce, meaning they leave the site, within 5 to 10 seconds or oftentimes sooner. In fact, the time frame is getting shorter all the time. Some studies say that it's as little as 3 to 5 seconds before they make a decision to look on further, what else you have on the site, or to click off. Now, does your site immediately engage visitors and encourage them to look around? Or do they click off? Is there an offer for them? Something that they can sign up for, like this is often called a lead magnet, or an opt-in, or an ethical bribe. What it is a valuable gift that you have to give them in return for getting their name and email, or at least their email, so that you can develop and nurture a relationship with them then. Now, if you don't have this on your site, I think you're missing out on an opportunity for more potential patients and or clients. And the most important stuff on your website should be above the fold, as they say, which is the top half of your website. It's what people see without having to scroll down the page. So things like your lead magnet, your opt-in form, should be above the fold. any really important information that you want to make sure people see, you want to have in that top half. And then, is there a feel of your website? Is it reflective of who you are, of your work? If you're a health coach, does a visitor get that sense when they click on your link? If you're a holistic dentist, is there evidence as soon as they click on your site that you're a holistic dentist? Not just any dentist, but a holistic one. And remember, you only have a few seconds, and that time frame is getting shorter all the time. People don't have patience, and you want to make it easy for them. And the other thing to look at is your branding. Is your branding, your vibe, the colors, all that stuff, is it evident? There are things, even if you haven't worked with a branding, expert or something, there's certain things that you can do with limiting your colors and limiting this, the types of fonts that you have, having common themes to your pages and your images so that everything sort of fits together and expresses who you are. And what about your About page? Do you make the most of your About Us page so the visitor really has a sense of who you are and what your work is like? Do you add some personal info? Or is it just all business? People need to be able to relate with you and know that you're humans. So sharing personal stuff, sharing adversity, how you overcame things makes you human, and it makes them want to engage with you more. Now, your credentials obviously are important too, but not really as important as your story. So how do you share who you are, who you really are, with your visitors on your About Us page? When I review people's websites, sometimes it's not even a page that they have. There's no About Us page, and there's nothing about the person anywhere. Sometimes there's not even an image, a picture of them. So at least have, your headshot, your picture about you so that people can relate to you and engage and know that you are right for them. And what about your services? Do you provide valuable information and clearly outline your services? Do you help them with their problem? Is it easy to understand, and can they find what they're looking for? Or do you have too much technical information, or maybe not even have your services at all, or maybe they're hidden on a drop-down menu or something? And make it easy for people. And then social proof is really important. Testimonials, reviews, stories, those are all good ways to share social proof, both on your website, things that people put on Google for you or Yelp or whatever. And then link to your social media. I find some people, have a Facebook page, a business page, and they don't have the link on their website. So how do you have to connect those two? So your Facebook page, if you have a YouTube channel or Twitter or anything else, put those little icons on your page and make it easy for people to find them so that they can see all of your other stuff. People don't always land on your homepage first. I also want to talk about this. Depending on how they found you, they might have used a keyword that they searched for, and then they came upon a page deep inside your site. So make sure that you've got pertinent information like contact stuff and your social media stuff on every page, because you never know where they're going to land. And then a thing that's, I think, more important now is to make sure you have an SSL, which means it's the HTTPS, which is a secure site. Certain browsers like Google Chrome, for example, will say that the site is not secure. That's what people are going to see in the search engine or in the search bar where your address is. It'll say not secure if you don't have an SSL. So I would encourage you to get that. And then last thing I want to say about website stuff is you got to, there's lots of things, and we talked about blogging last time, that really helps people to know that somebody's paying attention to this site. Somebody is home. So copyright should be current. Now you can have it when it started and then the copyright being the current year or just the current year. But if you have an old copyright, like from 2016 and it's 2019 now, it makes it look like nobody has touched the site in 3 years. So make sure your copyright is current as well. So I hope those were some helpful things to share with you about your website, because it's a huge piece of internet real estate for you to use to really build your business. And I don't care if you get referred from somebody or whatever, people still are going to look you up online. So it's important to have a website, and it's important to have a functional website that's engaging and really does some of the heavy lifting for you, rather than having to do cold calling or going to all these meetings or whatever, or paying for ads. Have a website that's going to really work for you. So I hope you enjoyed the show today. And next time we have an angel reading because it's the first week of the month. And then we'll continue this series on content marketing. So until next time, I want you to believe, always believe, anything is possible as long as you believe in yourself.
You've been listening to The Holistic Entrepreneur, hosted by Bonnie Groessl. The Holistic Entrepreneur has been brought to you by M&B Global Solutions, your source for individualized coaching for entrepreneurs and authors, along with book editing and publishing services. To learn more, go to m&bglobalsolutions.com.